what was it that kind of he was picking up on, or people were picking up on, or for you to figure out to kind of carve a space doing that?
Yeah.
How do you stand out when it's just be a guy that people want to watch on stage that way?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what it was that Michael kind of saw. I think for me, it was something I kind of realized early on playing bars. It was like, I'd be playing and people would be ordering a drink or, hitting on some girl at the bar or like, we were kind of like elevator music a little bit. And I remember thinking early on as a teenager and just thinking, all right, how do I have to find a way to make these people pay attention to what we're doing. Cause half of them are, half of them aren't. Like it was so like, how do you, and I remember that kind of being kind of the turning point for me of, all right, so I would get out and, if I had to go, I don't know, it made me start talking more like, getting interactive with the crowd and doing things to make them pay attention and saying things to make them pay attention to what we were doing. Songs that we would play, if we would lose them during certain songs, those songs came out of the set and we put something else in. I think the thing that Michael probably noticed was, what he saw in the clubs for me, hasn't really changed that much to what we're doing now. It's just gotten a lot more refined. I was still kind of this hybrid of country and rock and all this stuff. And back in the day when everybody was, really starch shirts and, trying to be George Strait, I love George Strait, but I also loved, the Guns N' Roses too. And so we were kind of like mixing the two and nobody was really doing what we were doing out there, even in the club days early on. And I think that was the one thing Michael saw that, what we were doing was not what everybody else was doing. And I don't even think I really realized that we were doing something different at the time. For us, it was just, we were just playing music that we liked. And we would play Merle Haggard and then we'd turn around and play Bon Jovi. And then, you know what I mean? So it was just like back and forth. And then, during the 90s, there was a lot of cool bands like, Oasis and bands like that. So, we play that kind of stuff and the Wallflowers and then play Tracy Lawrence, you know what I mean? So it was just kind of all over the place. And, but it was cool and different. And I think he saw that we were, that I was doing something a little different. Cause that's always the thing when people move to town and trying to get a record deal, it's like, okay, well, what do you do that's going to make you stand out? And, and it's always hard. I mean, I always knew my live show was going to be a big part of my selling tool. So to go in and sit in the conference room and play for a record company was never going to get me a record deal. And, I ended up, the head of my label signed me off of seeing me play a showcase at the Wild Horse Saloon in Nashville. So they got a chance to see me play live. And then where most artists go out on a radio tour after they get signed, they go out and, again, sit in a conference room, play for the radio stations and beg them to play the records.
Shake a lot of hands.
Yeah, which is fun. But I knew that radio stations weren't going to get what I was about if I did that. So we played any kind of free show they had. If they had a birthday bash or a listener appreciation show or whatever, we would come in and play that show for free just to be able to play a live show for them so that they could see what we were all about. And, man, it was just like winning them over, one radio station, fans, however many fans were at that show at a time. And that was kind of I really, truly feel like that was a difference in how we broke and into the business.